Welcome to our MIS project. Today we're going to talk about evolution of computer technology and IT. How it started. From the 1930s to today, the computer has changed dramatically. The first modern computer was created in the 1930s and was called the Z1, which was followed by large machinery that took up the entire room. In the 60s, computers evolved from professional use to personal use, as the first personal computer was introduced to the public in the 1980s. Apple introduced the first computer, the Macintosh, and dominated the computer industry ever since, with laptops and tablets. Although computers seem like a relatively modern invention, computing dates back to the early 1800s. Throughout computing history, there has not been a lone inventor or a single first computer. The invention of the computer was incremental, with dozens of scientists and mathematicians building on their procedures, and modern computers, however, can be traced back to the 1930s. That means that most of human evolution and technological evolution started from the 1940s and then boomed till modern day, and how we as a society are built upon this mainframe of how the first computer was created till the last one. In the 1930s marked the beginning of calculating machines, which were considered the first programmable computers. Konrad Zuse created what became known as the first programmable computer, the Z1, in 1936. In his parents' living room in Berlin, he assembled metal plates, pins, and old film, creating a machine that could easily add and subtract. Although his early models were destroyed in World War II, Zeus is credited with creating the first digital computer.
In the 1940s, computer took up the entire rooms like the ENIAC, and here ENIAC stands for Electronic Numerical Integrated in Computer, which that one was once called a mathematical robot. Joe Marshall created the ENIAC during World War II to help the army with plastics analytics. The machine could calculate thousands of problems each second. The large scale ENIAC was weighted 30 tons and needed 1,500 square foot room to house the 40 cabinets, 6,000 switches, and 18,000 vacuum tubes that comprise the machine. Some call this invention the beginning of the computer age. In the 1950s, computers were strictly used for scientific and engineering researches, like the ENIAC, which was once described as a helpful assistant for mathematicians.
In the 1960s, everything changed when the Programmer 101 became the first desktop computer sold in the average consumer. Up until 1965, computers were reserved for mathematics and engineers in a lab setting. The Programmer 101 changed everything by offering the general public a desktop computer that anyone could use. The 65-pound machine was the size of a typewriter and had 37 keys and a printer built in. The Italian invention ushered in the idea of the personal computer that would last to this day. As personal computers became popular in the 1970s, the Xerox Alto helped pave the way for Steve Jobs' Apple. The Xerox Alto was created in the 70s as a personal computer that would print documents and send emails. What was the most notable about the computer was its design, which included a mouse, a keyboard, and a screen. The state-of-the-art design would later influence Apple designs in the following decades. The Alto computers were also designed to be kid-friendly so that anyone, no matter the age, could operate a personal computer. In the 80s, Apple's Macintosh was described as a game changer for the computer industry. When Steve Jobs introduced the first Macintosh computer in 1984, Consumer Reports called it a dazzling display of technical wizardry. Like the Xerox Alto, the Macintosh had a keyboard, a mouse, and a small 9-inch screen. The computer, which weighed in at 22 pounds and cost over $2,495, was applauded for its interface for Windows icons.
As the 90s marked a period of self-expression, Apple released the famous iMac G3, which was customizable. The iMac G3 was launched in 1998 after Steve Jobs returned to Apple in 1997. The computer quickly became known for its Bondi blue clear casing. The 38-pound iMac included USB ports, a keyboard, and a mouse. It was meant to be portable and customizable. The company sold 800,000 computers in the first 5 months, saving Apple from extinction. The iMac is also notable because it was the first time Apple used the I to name its products. Explaining it stood for Internet, Innovation, and Individuality. In the early 2000s, laptops became increasingly popular, especially after Apple launched its MacBook Air. In 2008, Steve Jobs slid the first MacBook Air from a manila envelope and showed the audience at Apple's Macworld with how thin the laptop was, measuring only 0.76 inch thick. The expertly designed laptop changed the industry forever. Apple got rid of the CD drive and only included a USB port and a headphone jack. At the time, the minimalistic device cost $1,799. Today, computers come in all shapes and sizes, including tablets. Today's most innovative computers are tablets, which are simple touchscreens without a keyboard or mouse. Although tablet sales are on the decline, 33 million tablets were sold in 2018. The market is also filled with other computer models, including the MacBook Pro, iMac, Dell XPS, and iPhones.